Boom, we're live. Testing. If anyone is there,
1, 2, 3, 4,
write down
5.
in the comments if you can hear us. Anton, welcome. It's great to see you.
Hello there.
As always, Anton coming from Tallinn. I'm coming to you from New Jersey, and today we're gonna be hacking things around. Just make some noise in the comments if you are there. If you are watching us, you can see us. If you're watching this as a recording, also make some noise in the comments. It helps to understand that if my mom is watching, just you also can just write down and say hey. And also, I would like you to test Anton's microphone, because last time I noticed Anton was a little bit quieter. And on my side,
1, 2, 3, 4.
On my side, I don't think I can go. What's what I'm looking for? Okay, I have one like, and I was wondering where this like is coming from. Okay. Dim. Okay,
Boom.
so I just did the how it's called. I just did the pin in the channel, so maybe someone will show up. Okay, so we're doing hacking things with the Kotlin, Kafka, Kubernetes, Ktor,
and all the things K.
And all the things K. Yeah, it's I don't know. Like it's weird to say this because to say this in the US, but apparently in Europe it's fine. All right, so we're doing 5K. So this is what we do. It's the today. So next time. So there's a previous recording. So previous recording we're just like messing around and creating something with Ktor. We're creating service. We played around creating API. I was trying to integrate with cloud events. We will push this a little bit back. And today we're gonna do try to get closer to the things that we're announcing. So we announced things around Kafka. So we're gonna be doing a little bit Kafka today, and obviously Ktor, and obviously Kotlin. Okay, so we do have a few people just joined. Oh, great, Alexander, welcome. Alexander, where are we coming from, Alexander? It's our friends from Canada also join us. Welcome back. Well, let me see if I can make this things bigger, so the people can see all the things. All right, so now it's gonna be bigger. Okay, and welcome Ramesh from India. So we at least I know those 3 people who just joined us. So at least that's great. So great plans for today. One of the plans is to introduce integration to Kafka with Ktor. Another thing is to introduce test containers to this, because I will show how we're testing this right now. And if we have a time, we'll see if we have a time for for Matt Damon. If we have a time for Matt Damon, I also will start hacking around the Ktor integration with OpenAPI. If we can, generate some code, and if this code would be usable at any point. Oh, this is very nice. Alexander from the very warm place. I hope you don't have a snow there. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Great to have you again, folks. We're trying to, we would do this ourselves anyway, and the reason for that is just we are learning some showing off some of the cool technologies, and so you can also learn something. So asking questions, and we will be hacking things around. All right. So let me quickly switch to. Is it me or is it Anton? It's me. So I wanted to start with this module that me and Anton, we wrote this a while ago. And we'll go to GitHub. And this is me. In repositories, we're going into Kafka. And we're going to look into this one. So this is the module that I wrote a while back. And as you can see, it was quite a while. But we were working on this, and there's a pull request that is work in progress and ready to be merged. So today we're gonna merge this and release this, and we're gonna start playing around with this module. So where's my IntelliJ? Where's my IntelliJ? And if I am in the right place, yes, I'm on the right place. We updated this to latest and greatest version of the of Ktor, and I'll show you a couple things that we have here. So one of the things is that this is a feature that enables integration of Kafka module inside inside the Ktor. Probably some of the things already obsolete. I need to probably go ahead and update. And there's example application that actually includes some of the integrations and how it can be used. For example, like there's a console, where's this application that we're doing? Application that runs the web service, and this web service will include a different application. I'm actually rating application. Where's the rating application? I don't remember. It's a console rating coverage. Yeah, rating coverage. So it includes a few things here. It should include one of the consumers. Yeah, let's try to run this and let's see what it does. So and after that, I will just go ahead and merge it. So we start with running coverage. Let's see if I will be able to run this. Oh, okay. We need to have Kafka.
Probably not. You need Kafka, obviously.
Yes, obviously. We have a Kafka. And things what we're using right now, we're using Docker Compose. And for this, I have, say, let me kill this. If I'll just do Docker Compose up, and I will send this into background. Yeah, I know what it will tell. It will tell that my Docker is not available. So let's see if I will be able to run this in. Something is stuck. Okay, so let's see Docker PS. If my Docker is up and running, and I will be able to do something. So something is not wrong with my Docker. I hope I don't need to restart my computer, because yesterday was something weird. I had to restart the computer in order to make the scaffold work, which is scaffold is a tool for Kubernetes and stuff like that. Let's just do restart. Docker stopped. Okay.
Your Docker installation is corrupt.
Maybe not. So we'll see. That will complicate things, but we can wing it with hopefully with Testcontainers Cloud. It always helps. Where's this Docker? Where's Docker? Docker has died? Docker. Yeah, Docker and Mac going through some very rough times. Not always working. Docker desktop is paid now, so it's crazy. So a lot of stuff is going on here. So it is starting. It says starting. So we'll see. We'll see if we will be able to get this running. Docker, and I don't understand like why it's starting so long. Okay, started. Perfect. Docker PS. No containers. Docker Compose up. Docker Compose up D. Okay, so we go into example. We're going into example, and inside example we should have Docker Compose up D. Okay. So this is Docker Compose that includes Zookeeper. It includes Kafka. Includes we're using this Kafka console from Red Panda to just to have a like visual representation what is going on there, and it is available on port 9090 and exposed to local. So let's see if we localhost port. Yeah, so we do have our application is up and running. Again, Docker Compose is working. Maybe in later today or next time we're gonna remove Zookeeper because Kafka capable of running without Zookeeper. Now, so let's run this rating application first. So where's this running average? So what it does, it will have a 2 endpoints. It should have a 1 endpoint, right, where we can submit, or at least 1 endpoint that we can use to read data. We're running this one replica. We're running this in Docker. I also want to show you one of the cool things about this application. I don't remember. There should be some sort of endpoint that exposes this information somehow. There should be some endpoint that we use for this. But anyway, let's run it. Let's run it. We go in with the running average. Let's see if we're running this in the correct folder, running in the example folder. So it should get into configuration. And my Kafka configuration will have a local host as my the Bootstrap server. Some of these things are using the cloud, but it's commented out, so it should be all right. Now, let's run this. I didn't share Anton with you. We should have done this the code with me, so you can also do this thing. Okay, let's see. Nine people watching. 9 people. We're getting very strong. We're getting more viewers. Okay, so let's see what kind of errors we have here. One of the source topic is missing during rebalance. Always fun. It's always fun.
Remember this. Oh no, you're running in Docker, right? So this,
yeah, I'm running this in Docker.
Replication factor should be 1.
Yeah. So let's see what's the topics. So topic was created, correct? So those topics are created for source data. Let's see what kind of errors we have here. It's a producer, consumer values. Let's see where's our errors. Scheme registry supplied but not used. It's fine. We're not using at least in this example. We're using this in another example. Temp directory cause failures. Writing checkpoint cable clear. Oh, that's okay. It's also so since I'm using Kafka Streams provides the ways how I can cache this into the state into the files, and by default it uses default topic replication factor. Okay, so let's see if I'm missing something with this replication factor, the topic replication factor. So topic should be created fine because we're running this locally. Now in stream parameter is null, which is weird. Why it is required this? Let's see. Okay, so those parameters were created. Let's see what kind of error we have. Warning. Now, code running the error. Missing source topics. Source topics are created. And where we're looking into this one, consumer has the source topics, right? Let's see if console producer, if this works. Okay, so we put some stuff in it. Let's see. Refresh. So ratings, it should be, some data in. So we see this data just landed. So everything, the data is inside. Let me restart this application. Maybe now it should be pick up the right topics. Usually the problem with topics are not available is just either, I think it was some sort of like a race condition. The topics were created, and when I just do refresh, so topic created, the change log and the repartition topic for aggregate state also was there. And we have an output for rating averages, some sort of results we have here. And now there should be one of the endpoints that we can read data. So what I like about integration with IntelliJ that I don't see if it's actually doing for Ktor, because for Spring Boot it's always kind of like you can find if we're using any like routes, and IntelliJ IDEA can, or it can.
It can actually, if you have Ktor plugin
okay.
installed,
So we do have some sort of like HTTP stuff, and which point it is available. Okay, let's see. Why it is not? Yes, we do have another application. So let's run this. And let's see if this will be also up and running. So we'll just run, modify run configuration, goes into right folder with example, and that's okay. Let's see. So we do have a separate application that has a UI for this app. So it breaks something. In state happens multiple instances of Kafka streams running the same state directory. I'm wondering why it is happening here. Maybe, let's see. Maybe we're already using this in this application. So I'll just do stop. And this application will die. Okay. Anton microphone is low, people are saying.
I don't see. Maybe I should speak into the microphone, then it would be better, but I'm not sure.
That will make sense, that's kind of like a whole purpose of microphone. You need to speak into microphone. Okay.
Is it better now?
Yeah, so now we have a Ktor application that works with Kafka, and it's available on port, localhost, and what? 8080. Okay, so we can submit topics, and we submit this rating. Now let's test something else. In Insomnia, we recently introduced a support for Websocket. So I wanna try this out. Ktor streams. And here I would just do WebSocket request. We do have WebSocket available for our application somewhere, right? And
we should have one.
So WebSocket available /Kafka. Right? WebSocket/Kafka. So if I will go with the VS localhost 8080, and when I just connect, okay, connect successfully. If we submit this rating, say rating 9, I don't know what kind of person would do this. Okay. And we're not getting anything. So we get upgrade, and we get where's the responses? We connected successfully. Let's try different Guardians of the Galaxy. And still we're not getting anything.
Wait, did you mean we have to receive a message? Show me the code a little bit.
Yeah. So I think the idea is to Okay, so
Okay, that's
canceling in-flight requests. So maybe let's see. Wait a second. So our WebSocket will consume and connect to this one, and write this into.
no. It's not consuming anything from the WebSocket right now. It's only sending to the WebSocket.
No, Kafka consumer. Create Kafka consumer on the WebSocket. A rating call goes into producer. That's the thing that I
No,
wanted to do with cloud
the
events.
WebSocket point itself is not reading anything from the WebSocket right now.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
You have a WebSocket endpoint defined
Yeah.
at Kafka
Yeah.
/Kafka. To
Yeah.
read anything from the WebSocket channel, you need to consume from that channel. You are not doing that. You just define the WebSocket endpoint, but you are not consuming it. You're not consuming the. You are not consuming the WebSocket.
I mean, it should just. I don't need to consume. It's just like I want to send this. Like whenever connected, I want to send them. That was the idea. We just like a connect and constantly will update and send the back frame with the rating.
Oh yeah, right. So we, as a client, I should receive from something back
that's
from
correct.
the server, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see if let's refresh. Maybe we broke something. Yeah. So looks like the
Well, system out print line.
Yeah, Docker just died. This is
Docker
like
died.
this is nonsense. You see, this is the tool that many developers rely on, and it's like they asking money for this, right? You know, in this tool, it's
every
just
time,
keep crashing.
every time I try using it, it doesn't happen every day, but every time I'm trying to use it,
It's a
it
huge pain.
either it needs an update or it's not running.
Okay, let's try to do something different. Let me make sure that this guy is dead. So I'll just go and say quit Docker desktop.
Like for good.
Yeah.
I think next time we gotta try something more reliable than Docker.
Yeah, let me see. So sometimes some of the I know what I can try because I tried Kalima for a while and it worked with some images. It actually behaves very very bad. So let's see. Let me kill it.
How about Podman? Have you tried it?
I haven't tried Podman though.
It seems that they have now a proper installation for Podman desktop, and
yeah. So let's do this. Docker PS.
Maybe next time.
So Kolima. Yeah, Kolima. Start. Let's see. All right. While it's starting, let's answer some questions. So we do have a question from Ramesh. So I have a script that are Python and JS and want to use this with Kafka. I require ordered exactly once messages output to another topic. Suggest good solution like Kafka streams, but JS Python. Well, dear friend, you're in the wrong place. More importantly, like we have zero idea about the how the Python and JavaScript works. I would suggest you to take a look or just like a Google Dave Klein and Python. Dave Klein is a former colleague of mine. He did a whole video course at the developer.confident.io about Python. So you better off would be with experts who know Python and learn something from that point. Yeah. All right. So tooling are freaking freaking unreliable. So the Kalima is not working, or it is working. Let's see.
So Kalima is something like a runner for Docker images, or what is
Yeah,
it?
so
Like,
Kalima
it's the first time I see it.
yeah, it's also like a container runtime, like similar to Docker. Let's do this Docker one more time thing. Docker thing one more time. Or we can just like screw this. Let's go with Podman. Podman.
But do you have Podman installed?
I think so. Okay, so backend can reset Docker to factory setting defaults. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Getting started. Okay. We go with Podman help. Let's see. Yes, I do have a Podman installed. Let's see if I'm running this latest and greatest version. Podman. Something like this. Okay, 444.400. Like getting started. Which version we have? How we can tell? Yeah, so I think running the latest and greatest. Even blog doesn't have updated version. Now, Podman desktop. Oh wow. Can we do this? Yep, that's what we're looking for. And where's this Docker fella? It's not even like restarting and recovering. Oh yeah, that's terrible. Like the
My God.
yeah. Exit. Bye. What I was I want to do Docker PS because I think the Podman will be using same like a Docker client, but the Docker daemon is not responsive. Okay, so we got this. Oops. Let's go back. Can we do Podman PS? Okay, so we need to start it, right? Expect it's the let's do something like this, like a Podman Docker compose. Also Kalima. Because Kalima worked for me. Kalima worked when I was tried a few times. Let's see if this will. Yeah, so the Docker was unstable on M1, but it actually it worked for quite some time. I don't know why it just started to the failing and stuff. So let me try to do this one more time with the Kalima. But while I'm messing around, we can switch to Anton because Anton looks very.
I'm trying to install Podman myself, like while you are fixing Docker. But we can talk about something else.
Yeah, let's talk about. So since we're talking about installing these infrastructure tools and shit, let's talk about how we can integrate the test containers with with Ktor. So the reason, okay, so I will explain why we want to use the test containers, because Docker unreliable. Docker compose is also not the right way to run this stuff. So we can rely on test containers. And more importantly, if it fails with the test containers, yeah, so we can use the cloud and stuff like that.
So yeah, like we At our YouTube channel, we used to have a nice webinar about test containers and Ktor with Oleg from Atomic Jar. Let me see the playlists. So if you go to the playlists and you find the server side with Kotlin webinar series, you should be able to find something right here. Where is Oleg? Test containers. Okay, we did this on some other channel, I think.
Maybe on the test.
Test containers channel.
containers?
It must have
Yeah.
been test containers Kotlin. Let's see. Do they even have a channel? They used to have one.
Yeah, look for Atomic Jar, not the test containers.
Atomic Jar.
Yeah.
Atomic Jar Kotlin. Oh yeah, I think this is the one. So indeed, we did this. Why didn't it open at the right spot? Because I clicked the wrong link. Okay, so here's the session that we did. It actually was published like more than a year ago. So
What?
some things changed already. Like I mean, the new versions of Ktor, the test containers have been updated multiple times and so on. But the general idea is still the same. We are running the integration tests with test containers via JUnit runners, and when the test starts, test containers library initializes and is responsible for getting the required dependencies up and running in a Docker environment, and then our application is able to use those external resources for running, like databases, Kafka, whatever, queues, k-value stores, NoSQL databases, whatever we need, whatever dependencies we have like outside of the application. So I think this session itself is okay to check, but I think what will be different is that we are now using Ktor 2x, and in this session we were using Ktor 1.5 or 1.4, and since then I think a few things improved for testing in Ktor. So what I was checking actually just before we started the stream, Ktor testing. So there's a documentation part about that. What was the hassle actually? Let me show you GitHub, Ktor WebSockets chat. I have this project in my GitHub repository. So what was the hassle before 2.0, before Ktor 2.0, is that when you are using test containers and your test depends on some external container, and this container starts, and your application your test application starts as well, you need to override the properties, like the connection properties for your application to be able to connect to that external container. And in Spring Boot, for instance, you have this dynamic property source that runs that you use in your tests, and it dynamically overrides the properties. When the container starts, you can get the URL out from it because it initializes. Then you get the URL, you get the username, password, whatever properties are baked into the Docker image dynamically, because you don't have to manage it yourself somehow externally. And then your application is able to communicate to that container. In Ktor, you don't have any integration out of the box, so you have to do that manually. And the very first step was to override the properties in the application. So if you have this application.properties file, application.conf file, right? This thing, and you have defined some properties for connecting to the external resources,
Correct.
you cannot keep them. You cannot keep them as is in the configuration file,
Right.
because your container might start on unpredictable URL. You don't know what the URL will be, what the port will be, what the username will be, and so on in the tests. Especially if you go into CI, you cannot be managing all these properties manually. It's too much. It has to be dynamic, and it has to be supported by the test framework. So what we needed to do in 1.x, in Ktor, some previous version, is to load the properties dynamically and use the internal APIs for Kotlin configuration file to actually overwrite, let's say, if we are connecting to some JDBC source, for instance, JDBC data source, then we had to create our own map and somehow get those properties from the container.
Yeah.
And
that's what we need to
merge
do.
this map
To be
back.
honest, right?
Yeah. So like essentially, this is what we need. But in Ktor 2.0, I just checked, and they improved it. So technically, where is it? Yeah, you can say that for this test application, for this specific test, please load the properties from that configuration file, not always from the application.conf, but from any conf that you can specify your own, right? It can be on the side with your custom properties set, or if you need to access it before the test actually runs, then you can do this. You can totally override the properties when the test starts, using this approach without this hack that we needed to do low level for the configuration file.
This is very good. I think this is what we need to do, right? This is what we need, because during the test start, so we need to
so essentially what I wanted to do is step by step.
No. So yeah, so I think we still need to do one thing in this application, because our Kafka thing is not using application.conf. It uses external. So we also had to hack it in the past, so we can let's try.
Or we can adjust the file. We can probably not load the file, but just use some map for the properties and don't read the file at all. But okay, let's see. But let's do it step by step. And first add the container, check if the container is actually starting and running and so on, if we can get the properties out of it. And I will not even use Kafka first. I will just use, Postgres, because it's straightforward. It starts, I can get something out of it.
Okay.
So, where is the test? Test is here. Could it be? Oh, let's just copy it, right? We just copied because we have the code written anyways. So there is a static container that we used before. This Postgres SQL container. I'm gonna paste it without the superclass. Who needs superclasses anyway? So we have the container. It's here. And then we need the test. We need the test, and the test will be something like this. No, something like this. We're gonna decide it later. Let me get to the test back. No, this one. Okay, so I probably will not overwrite the config file right away, but maybe do it later. And what we need to do is to make sure what is happening when the test starts. Let's do print line debugging. I mean, we can check it later, like do assertions later. What we need to get from to be able to get, or to be able to communicate to the container when it starts, we have to make sure that is running, right? We can even do assertion on that. So assert that container is running, and this will be the successful test if it passes. But with print line, we're gonna check a few other things like container JDBC URL, for instance. So we know if we need it, like imagine if we needed a database, it could be Kafka instead. When the container starts, we gotta get the URL to be able to connect to that external container. So that's our main target. And I'm gonna just print it out. So this is all what we need right now, and see how the tests runs. Let's run it. I have Docker running, so it has to pass. So we can see. Let's check the log. Let's check what was happening. So it's telling me that it started the container. You see those nice icons right in the log file. The Postgres container is starting, and there is the JDBC URL that we printed out in the test. Nice, and it's dynamic. So whenever my test runs in the CI on some unknown unmanaged machine, whatever, my test knows where to connect. So my application will know where to connect. And then the test passed successfully, so the container was up and running. It's not just initializing some property, but it actually is checking if the container runs. So that's the minimal successful test that we needed. We now know that the component works, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's next? We have to probably replace it with Kafka.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna do this. So in my, I'm still trying to debug this, but looks like I was able to make this like a Docker thing work. So what I'm trying to see, like why the WebSocket part is not working right now as I expect.
Maybe add some print lines into the
Not
application
what disconnected.
code.
Okay, so let's see. Maybe my Docker already died again. No, Docker is up and running. So let me switch to screen to mine. Yeah. So basically, the idea was of this application is it works. So if I open developer tools, browser tools, browser tools. Okay, like this. Okay. So the output, we do have a like JavaScript, the WebSocket that runs stuff into console. So if I'll go submit, we should get the response. Where's the network? WebSocket connected, request response, timings. Doesn't show me, but in the console, I should be able to see something. I'm wondering if it's node 1 disconnected. I don't understand. Maybe again my Docker died, so that's gonna topics are there, so it's up and running. I don't know. Anyway, so they cannot establish connection to server local host. Cannot establish connection for some reasons. Anyway, so let's scrap it. So it works. At least the works in a sense that is more than more than enough for this particular case. Now, so let's do this test, right? So what I need to do, Anton, or I can even invite you to this like a start session.
Okay. Yep.
We will be doing again. Thanks, JetBrains. We're gonna use the.
Well, let's see if I can connect right away. Because probably it will download something. Okay. No, it just connects. Ooh. connected. Okay, let's see what do you have here. Like
So let's see.
we have the application test.
Mhm. So what we do here? We create application test. Okay.
We probably need some dependencies in the build Gradle KTS file
Okay.
first.
Let's do this.
Let me just copy whatever I have in. We have any Testcontainers dependencies right here?
We don't. So let's
We
because
don't.
we might
Okay.
have even Testcontainers Kafka after that. So we'll have a lot of things. Just like let's or wait a second. So let me merge this PR so we can start with new branch. So we can the Testcontainers integration will be so find repository or Kafka. Just go with this pull request. It's not a work in progress anymore. We just do upgrade into Ktor. Upgrade Ktor to X. Upgrade to Ktor update comment. What we will just do, squash and merge. That's how I like to roll with this. Okay, good. So we're going into here. Switch to checkout. Let's see. What I like about the idea, like all these things just work. Like if I need to compare this, my my shortcuts will work, so I can know exactly where I am. Just do rollback, and don't check out. Smart checkout. Okay. So we came into this one. So we need to create now full update project. Just okay. Files updated and one commit. So that's how I like it. And my Super Mario is updating this stuff. And the reason why we need this, or Anton, we can also do this like another way around, but the test would be more complex. So probably let's just like, yeah, I think to add Kafka dependency into your application. Yeah, we actually can do that, right? So we can add the Kafka dependency to your application and just see if during the startup we will be able to print, print Kafka
something.
URL. Yeah, print Kafka URL. So and also we will test if the libraries will work. So before you do this, let me show you something. So this is what we're gonna be using. GitHub, Vault CP. So before
you're showing my screen right now.
Yeah, I know. We're going into this project that I was working, and so this project has a lot of kind of like the dependencies that can be already has like a lot of integrations. So that's how you will bring this the project to you. So I will share this in our Telegram. So you can add this as a dependency.
The very first example, you mean?
Yeah,
wait. You sent me the link twice, right? So it's the same link.
I don't know. Disconnected for some reasons. Something is not right with my setup today. Like everything is like falling apart. That happens.
So wait.
Let me switch to your.
I don't really get what's the example about.
No, scroll down. There's a how you can add dependency.
Oh, this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's groovy. Damn it. You know, if you're using Kotlin and Gradle, or even if you are not using Kotlin, just use KTS scripts with Gradle. So much
Yeah.
better.
Okay. Well, Anton adding this to
What?
his thing. So what? Okay. So Ramesh has a question. In a way, to orchestrate Kafka topic with topic transformation, what without relying on JVM Kafka streams, Flink stateful functions goes via gRPC. Have no idea actually. I haven't used Flink. I know there is a there's implementation for Python has like a called Faust or something like that. So Faust is heavily inspired by Kafka streams. Also, another option would be is to do how it's called, like a KSQL. You can use KSQL DB to run your stateful transformations, and KSQL DB has REST and HTTP2 endpoint, so you will be able to do this. So check this out. That's might be the good choice to do this. Okay.
Which tag should I? Should I replace this tag somehow or
Just use master. Master would be would work. Yes. Just
Like
you know,
this?
leave you know, you live life in dangerously.
Okay. Okay, let's see what happens. Well, it's downloading.
But also there's a tag called version 2.02.1.
Well, let's see. It's downloading, so maybe it will work even.
So is there a groovy to Kotlin automating conversion idea? Very good question. I know there is a
No.
Java to Kotlin conversion, right? We can paste the Java code and IntelliJ will convert this.
I think the question is rather about Gradle script.
Yeah.
No, it didn't work.
What's the problem with this? You know, how can you do this automatically?
With Groovy?
I mean, like migrate build scripts, and because I think they rely on it's by the end of the day they all rely on the same API, right? So the API is Java. That's what was the kind of.
I would be afraid to make assumptions here.
So
no, it didn't work. Master
it didn't work.
Did not
some okay. So you need to also probably include Confluent serializer. That's weird. Okay. Let's do something more simple. Like while I'm discovering some of these things are not working, which is totally unexpected.
Maybe this.
Just use just a standard Testcontainers integration. So just simple Kafka will suffice, or even something like Red Panda.
Okay. I do have Kafka.
Yeah, Testcontainers Kafka.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're gonna do this. This is the Kafka container, but I need the image name. What's the image name?
Image name cp-kafka.
cp-kafka.
Mm-hmm.
Like this.
Yeah.
Good.
And the version should be something like. Do you need like a full image name? Like so. Not you need to use something like Confluenting CP Kafka. I'll send you.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a full
Let's see. Okay. So, like, essentially, it should just start, and we should see if the assertion fails or not. Uh, okay, let's
And
run the test.
I will include all the modules that we need.
Mm. Well, the test was successful. Apparently, it works.
Let's see.
Why? Oh, no, it didn't. It should have started the container somehow.
Yeah, but it still uses Postgres.
Because I no, because I didn't start the container.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, I don't need
Postgres anymore.
make it JVM static. And I don't need Postgres anymore as well. And now I hope it's gonna be better.
So we can use the same stuff, test containers, not only for test. Yeah, it looks like it's done loading and pulling. Would not necessarily needs to use this only for testing, right? So because to run this application, we need to have this dependency, Kafka dependency up and running. We can also override startup of the application and put the, you have a create environment for test application, and you will be able to do this not only for not only for test. You can also use this for local development as well.
You mean in the module, right? In the module.
Yeah. For example, like you start the module, you start the Kafka. You don't want to do this in a real world because you will be depending on this. But in general, you will be able to do this kind of.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Still pulling the image. It's huge, right?
Yeah, it is like a 1 gigabyte image. So that's why I wanted to use the CP library, because in CP library we do have I have it as an example. But if you go instead of like Kafka, you will be using something like a Red Panda, the Red Panda container. So it will be much faster. Red Panda container is smaller, and startup time is faster, even though it's a protocol, the compatible with Kafka.
Okay, let's see. It's gonna take time to download, I think.
Meanwhile,
11
people is watching, so people still coming. People still coming.
They like to see us struggling.
Yes,
so that's why it's so many.
Yeah. So now
it's still downloading. I'm not sure if I have the bandwidth right now.
To download the stuff. Okay, so let's switch to me then. I will be.
Actually, it actually jumped to 300 megabytes. So it's gonna take like 10 minutes, I think. So you meanwhile just switch it to yourself.
So let's integrate with application test to me. You can send this snippets to me. So I will switch here in my application test, and I will be I will be adding this like a CP test as well. So CP test is a library that I wrote, and the colleague from Confluent also contributed to this one. And after that, we joined forces and move everything onto this organization for test containers, all things Kafka. So
So I just added the dependencies to your Gradle file. Let me add the Testcontainers version as well to the Gradle.properties file.
you're doing
I'm doing the real stuff, yeah.
yeah. That's pretty cool. So you are editing this into Code with Me.
Yeah, probably I added it into a wrong file. Wait.
Yeah, definitely, because I don't see it's. We're working on example right now. So the example, we have all. Yeah, you added to the
Example.
wrong one. Yeah.
Wait. Okay, so you are showing my screen how I'm adding
Okay.
stuff into your ID.
Okay, so my screen. So where we are. So we should be. How I okay. So how I can follow. Okay. Left
You
click
can click my.
to unfollow. Okay, so I'm following you now. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, so I added the version,
Uh-huh.
test
Yeah.
containers version. Now in this project we have the feature and the example.
Yeah. So we're going in example
What's up
because
with these
example.
dependencies? Okay,
Uh,
we don't need this. We need this, right? So I did the right thing. I added the correct into the correct place,
yes.
right? This is what we need. We probably don't need the Postgres.
We don't.
We added the BOM so that we don't need to specify the version for each test containers dependency. We're just gonna specify it once. We maybe want to use a utility to test async stuff later on, so I'm just adding it. And assert core, just for fun, so that we can write assert that instead of assert equals.
Yeah, I
That's
also that's why I like my library, because this already includes all this jazz. It includes the I use assert for assert J. That's what I use. Rest assured for testing some REST stuff. Hoping to replace it some WebTow, like if WebTow would be the thing. Okay, now application test. Now what we overriding? So let's see. Can you send me test route? We don't need this, right? So this is something that might not even working. We will figure out this application test. Let's call it application. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this one.
You need to create this companion object, because the container variable should be in the static context, and the companion object should be part of the test, of course, not outside of the test. So declare it there. Companion object, and inside the object, open the block. You're gonna define this val Kafka equals Kafka container, and it should be annotated with JVM static.
I think the Gradle dependencies were not updated.
It's indexing.
No, it is not.
It shows me it's indexing.
Let's see.
Oh, maybe it's because it tries to sync the caches from your ID to my client. So that's why it shows me indexing.
But on my side is nothing. So let's see what it was. The IO test containers. Test containers Kafka. It's here. And it should be used.
Let me check. What if I add?
Just type it in yourself. Can you see the auto completion?
What? Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. Where is the test? So if I just add the import. Does it work? It does.
Okay. Wait a second.
Yep.
Why it's not working for me? Like if I just do.
Sure.
And it's not working. So your the code with me broke something on my side, like
Interesting.
IntelliJ. So is not doing the right thing. Anyway, so let's do this. Well, Kafka. Oh 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 oh.
What are you doing?
I'll just see if it works. Yeah. Okay. And we remove this. So like Kafka container. No. Why it is not working? Anyway, Kafka container works like this.
Typing
Okay.
is not our strongest skill.
Yeah. Okay. We get this. And now, can you paste your code somewhere? So from the previous steps that you did, so I can kind of like a copy paste
the test
this
itself?
idea. Yeah.
Okay. The companion object and the test goes into your Telegram. Let me paste it right here.
Mhm. Okay.
Done.
Perfect.
So how, like, the way it's different from when
Spring.
you are using test containers with Spring is that in Spring you just declare the field in the test. Here you don't have this luxury. You have to start the test yourself. That's why we have this apply block after the declaration.
Which is fine.
Basically, we are starting it manually. It's okay. I mean, we are not purists. It's fine. It's gonna work. And
So see, for some reasons, it's not seeing this here. So it's not showing all the properties of this Kafka companion object. So
what if I do it?
okay.
Kafka is. That's strange. I think it's the code with me issue.
Let me see if I can end session, and
Okay.
we'll just do same thing. So maybe let me do IntelliJ. Where is it? Repo
No,
ID.
don't drop the caches.
No. It's just like refresh indexable files, and if I will just do, where's the restart? Just to restart.
Just close it.
Yeah, just to restart. So it will bring back the IntelliJ real quick. Now, in our config, which stuff we can extract? So we need to override some of the configurations specifically. This is what I was talking about.
That's gonna be an experiment. I mean, we have to load and print it somehow and see what's inside and come up with our own
Okay, let's see.
properties.
So the way how we configured this, the way how it's done in application. So let's see. Inside the Kotlin application. So we have a block called where's our block for Kafka? So Kafka consumer. Create Kafka consumer. It's also
It
part of
should
the
be the block was in the install function.
build consumer. And how this would be in here, like in a test, in application test. So for application, we're creating block Kafka. Inside this block, let me give you control so you will be able to start session. See if we can do it Kafka. It's strange.
Not working?
No,
Still
it's
not
something
working
with
for you?
it's something with ID, I guess, for this.
Yeah, you probably will have to do invalidate caches later. No, it sees the variable, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't see here, so it is static. So do we need to? It's public by default, right? So it should be visible because I'm interested in. There's like a get bootstrap URL method. Yeah, and this is not, it's not visible here.
Get bootstrap. No, there's bootstrap servers.
Yeah, bootstrap servers or something like that. Yeah.
Let me check. So is it opening?
And also,
It's
what I
there,
can see
right?
here, it's not recognized as a test in IntelliJ. Ah, I know why. Okay. Here's the thing.
Okay. You see, it was working. It just was a problem between
Yeah,
the screen and the chair.
there's always, yeah. And now it sees this as application test. When I run this, let's see. Instantiated test. Probably it's just like downloading internets right now. So now, next step is to get into application context, so we can get the URL for Kafka Bootstrap server, right? So while I'm talking here, see, this is what we were doing before. So we're not using this application config. So we parse this file manually. We make this file look as a. Actually, let's see what's the background.
As a config.
What was the idea behind of what we couldn't do with the standard API?
Because it's not mutable.
I would like to support generic configuration for my application. Example, so we can do this. So get Kafka config.
Meanwhile, while we were debugging code with me, my test passed.
Yep.
It downloaded the Kafka Docker image and it successfully completed.
Yeah. You want to see something cool?
Show me.
So is it started? Okay. So if I will use this, it's called, I started this test container cloud. And this startup time. Of course I want to download new version. In the middle of my thing, of course I want. Continue with GitHub. But it should still work. server version. It is Testcontainer Cloud. Because as far as I remember, it's the... yeah, so let's do this. I have read this, accept and continue. Download. Oh, finally. Finally, they got this... the desktop.
GMG.
No, like to do this brew install. DMG was there for a while. So in this case, it will work things much faster with this. So now it started application as far as I can tell. See, this is the started Kafka, and it started multiple. It started my components. See the test pass. So it's also brought all the application config, but I don't believe it uses the URL from. So this is what we need to fix. Okay. Do you follow what I was saying? So now we need. So but right now it starts the application and reads this the Kafka conf file. Now we need to fix this in test. So in test we can override this configuration. So it will use Kafka in the cloud.
I see.
Okay. Yeah. So do you want me to give you control? Oh, you have a control, right? So you have.
I have control.
Yeah. Okay. So you have access to.
Yeah, I'm thinking like if we use the different API, right? No, wait. It's the map application config. Let's see. Like let me check. Let me check in the documentation. So another way to load the configuration file was this. So imports, and then we have this custom configuration file, which was kafka.conf, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kafka.conf, and then we need to override some of the properties. But then probably, I'm not sure if this new API actually config, if it allows to override. It seems like a read-only thing. Can I do a merge? Because this is something that you can create, like you just create your own map of the properties, right? And this one is you're loading, like is the thing when you're loading from the external configuration file. What we want to do is to load the configuration file and then say
override
that config, yeah. Oh, right. What we want to do is probably to config merge. Yeah, like this is custom, and what we want to do is to do this custom merge with config. What's going on?
It's like I was yeah.
So essentially I think this is how it should work, but I'm not sure if it actually works like this.
So let's try.
We'll see if it fails.
Let's try it. Yeah, if it fails, it fails. So so in this case, what we want is where's our config? So one of the things that we just want to override is this bootstrap servers. That's what we Ktor.Kafka. That's what we want to override. Yeah. So map configuration, Ktor, Kafka. What was the Bootstrap servers? How we can put this mapping configuration? Pair string. Can we do?
Oh, I know. Wait. I'm going to change it a little bit. So I checked the documentation for the merge with. If you navigate there, navigate into the docs. I will explain a little bit.
Look over here.
Go to the definition. Yep, merge with. So it's read the method, like read the doc, like merge configuration combining all the values. If the key exists in this and the other config, the value from the other config will be used. So what we need to do is to write it like this. We're gonna load the configuration file first, right? We are loading it. What's going on? Why doesn't it copy paste?
Which one?
I'm trying to copy paste. Okay, yeah. So we load it. That's our original one. And then the other one is that we are going to merge with is this guy. No, this guy, right?
Okay, let's
so
try.
We're gonna make it first custom, write this, and that's gonna be the config. That's gonna be the final config, and this is what we need because inside the environment, we have to assign to the config variable because it
so
will
we don't even
then in the context of the application.
Yeah. So for example, we don't even need this guy for now. Like let's just like make this not.
Yeah, it doesn't need to start. We can just print out the
Yeah. So
thing.
we're gonna do start. And what we need to do, assert that config
the key.
Why it is not?
Because there is no such thing as config.
Yeah, so we can do this like a what war?
No.
And this is something like this, right? And in this case, we can do config get or what's the?
First of all, we don't need this. No.
Oh, I see.
No, it's not gonna work like this.
Oh, bootstrap.servers. Why?
Because it's not a function.
Yeah,
map,
it's
but I'm not sure. Oh,
yeah.
It was get property. No.
You can do no. You can do stuff like this. So I'm sorry. Yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, this is how it should work. And just do bootstrap server.
No, it's not gonna work.
Like this. Why?
Because config is not a function.
Okay.
You are calling a function right now. Yeah. No. No. It's not gonna work.
What was that? Like, what was sound? Can you hear me still? Right?
Yes,
Are you still there?
I am.
So it is not gonna work. Why?
Because wait. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to extract the from the config object. I'm trying to extract the value, the Ktor Kafka Bootstrap servers.
Then it should be property, not config.
Must be initialized,
And
but it's initialized.
No, it's not. It's gotta be safe call.
Okay. But why?
Because of the way you declared it.
Okay, so how I declare this correctly so it will be visible outside of this environment.
Wait a second. Why is this not? You see, it's not initialized right here. You just declared it.
Yeah.
That's why it might be null. So you can say it's null. Of course, it's a nullable type. Now it's correct.
Okay.
Not the best way to do that, but let's check if it works.
Oh. So we expect this to be assert that
Stuff
is equal to stuff.
Yep.
That's the idea. So we're not starting this, so that should work. Good.
No.
Do not trust
It was
that
null.
actual but it was null. So the environment is not working. So when this environment will be executed? Yes, exactly, Alexander. Ktor needs Ktor needs dynamic property source. This is exactly Spring Boot. That's what
Like
exactly we're
big
trying to
letters.
emulate here. Yes. That's what exactly we're trying to here to emulate.
Maybe it's there, but we just don't know
Yeah.
the API.
Yeah. So
Because it's the new API.
can we do this? Is it okay to do stuff like this? Can we do this? Like, I mean, is it okay? to
It
do
doesn't
this?
make
Huh?
it doesn't make sense. I mean,
Why?
You see, like inside the test environment, we are working inside the context of application engine environment builder. So what is going on there when we build the test application? We are inside the builder. We are building the application. When the test starts, it starts the context of the application, it starts the environment block, and then we need to assign the config as it was before. So after this is done, when the application is running, we need to get the access to the test application environment
Mm-hmm.
right here. So I think it's gonna be env test application environment.
But we're calling this this is test.
Why did it? Okay.
Yeah, so wrong. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so first of all, we need to do fun test Kafka. We call it like this. Come on. Test. Shit. My keyboard stopped working with this. I feel like IntelliJ will crash right now. Are you still there?
Yeah, I am.
See, I have a beach. You don't see it, and the people don't in stream don't see it, but I have a beach ball here. So beach ball is
Bitching.
bitching. Yes.
Beach ball is bitching.
Can you type in my code right now, or you also froze?
I can.
You can. Okay, let's see.
I'm typing, but it's not reflecting in any way.
Yeah. So my side is froze.
Oh.
So that's what.
No,
See?
I did. It was.
No. It's froze. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so your
Let's kill it.
side is frozen.
Yeah. Let's kill it. Force kill. Okay. Let's stand one more time. So software is shit. Damn.
I have a feeling that they did add this feature to the DAO, but not completely, and we probably will not be able to use it.
So
And
you need to go and start,
down it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to show them this dynamic property. I did. And it should be simple to use. And damn, every time we get here is.
So this is function that's nothing to do with our test. It's going to be test that's going to be exposing this stuff. This is also that we don't need this. The merge with custom. So now inside the test, oops, test Kafka function. So we just do env. Let's just do test def environment dot war. What do we do in war?
Oh wait, I know. I think.
Indexing. Oh.
I probably know what is going on here. Environment, config, property. You can switch to my screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
So see, this is exactly what we are trying to do. That's the simple test. Reinventing the dynamic property source. So there is this environment for the test application. We did the merge right here, but it doesn't matter in the way we want to access it. So just imagine we are merging things here, right? And then assertion is one thing, it's for the external stuff, but when we are in the context of the application, we need this application block. And in there, we have the environment, and then we have access to config, and then let's say it's Kafka, blah. So what I'm expecting here is that the property Kafka is gonna be assert that.
Can you do that in this context?
I think so. That this thing is equal to blah. That's how it should work.
Okay.
I think.
No, run it in C.
Well, let's see. Run. And it. Of course, I did not switch off the Kafka thingy.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, it didn't work, but because it's get string, was it get string, right?
Let's do this. Okay, so let's do this.
One moment. Yes, it worked.
Okay, just open show me one more time. Like, let's switch to my gut back with the. Oh, I need to code with me. Start session, and we're going into this one more time.
Did you paste the?
Yeah, okay, in the Telegram. Yep.
Okay. So I'm connecting.
What about all good
to
Java
your-
property? It doesn't. He's not wrong.
What was
So-
the question? What
so
about
he's not wrong, actually, because in the Ktor, you can overwrite environment verbs. When before you start this application. But I don't
Would
know
have been too
when
simple.
in what point this will be evaluated, right? So it would be kind of race.
Wait,
But this
we
is the
don't
good
need
idea.
this.
This is a good idea.
Uh,
Because with Ktor config
So-
and Hokon, you can override any property inside the.
So an environment, config, property, whatever the property was, and then wait,
Yeah, it's a string.
it's a string, then get string, and this thing will be asserted. I assert that this thing is, I don't want this, is equal to stuff. So this is how it should work. We're gonna fail the test first.
Okay.
Like the purists say that you should fail the test first. So we're gonna do the right thing. So it fails, and it tells us that it should have been stuff instead of stuff exclamation mark. Now we're gonna fix it, and it runs. And
Perfect. Okay.
works.
So now in this case, we're gonna do this. We're gonna start, and with custom, it's not gonna stuff. We're gonna do Kafka. So Bootstrap servers is a string. I don't know in which format. Anyways, let's see. Let's see if this will work. Because this guy should work. And as always, we need to fail this first. Now, check this out. So now it runs the Testcontainer cloud. So it's not running my pesky local Docker. But, on the Testcontainer cloud, they have like an unlimited bandwidth. So you don't have to wait until this image would be downloaded because it's just a matter of seconds. And we are, yes, beautiful. Now, so, Let's test it. Yeah, let's test it, and we will put the availability and stuff around here as well. So at least our configuration works, and we restart this. So our Kafka integrations should work as well. So let's see. What is this? I don't remember how we define those consumers. Is it just like a functions? Yeah, those are just the functions. So what I want to do, create the consumer, create a producer, produce something, write to consumer, wait until the consumer receive it, and close the test with Testcontainer using the same configuration that we use in our application, right? Okay, so are we need to operate inside this application block now?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, we just do build consumer.
Producer?
We do have it doesn't matter. Build producer. Let's start with producer. Yeah. So we do have our config. So in this case, we're passing this into here, right? Config equals
environment
okay.
environment config.
Okay. And application environment. See, application config, and this guy will receive build. Yeah, edits rely on type safe config. So we either need to fix this for this, or what was the how we can extract a con config from this
Just a sec.
environment. Oops. Oh.
Config.
Environment config. There should be something like a to config.
I afraid they don't expose it. Wait. Why?
Config list, application config. Yeah, I think
they
because
are not exposing it.
Yeah, because this is the the application config is strongly typed thing, right? We potentially can rewrite our API to use application config if application config allows us to do whatever our config was able to get us. So let's take a look. Let's do producer. So what we wanted to do, we wanted to extract config get list. I think we can do that. Let's test. It will break many things, but at least we wanted to extract a config map. It's our method that would extract config map based on too much redo things. I think we potentially can, but let's see.
But that's what we have to do, like anyway.
Ideally, yes.
I mean, ideally we shouldn't be using type safe config directly.
Yes, but let's see if the API is compatible. Okay, application config. Can I do application config? Does it have the string path? Maybe there's a constructor that can receive Hakon config, loader config. No, something. No, why is that? Application config returns application config loader, load config path.
Maybe it should be map application config because we need it to be mutable.
What do you say?
There is application config, which is immutable, and there is map application config, which is mutable.
Okay, let's see. And they kind of like in the same.
Yeah, that's what we used to build the environment.
Application config. Values. Put. Well, I mean, we can do stuff like this. Like values, the mutable, because we can. Yeah, no. We're trying to extract this, right? We're trying to get like all. Okay, let's see if the application config will suffice for our usage. Here we're not using anything. We're using just standard properties for producer. Let's start over. So we need to config map. So
what if like
yeah, we need to have a config map.
what if you just try replacing the config with map or
maybe
properties object,
we will
like,
be able to do something like with the application config. So for application config, we need to do just a config based on the path. For the path, we need to get entry set. Will it suffice? Like if we're gonna be using just a to map and it will just gives us map string of any, and we're expecting string of any, right?
I think so. Let's try that. Remove one brace.
Yeah. Can we will it suffice? Should be why we have a type here, but that we might not have a type here because this. Okay. Okay.
No, wait. It doesn't compile. Oh.
List. Kind of like. Yeah. And why we're doing this Bootstrap server? It's gonna be what? What's the difference
List
between
of application config?
Yeah, list of application config. But in our case, it was list. So not application config.
List
we need to get from application config. We need to get a There was kind of like a list. No. So what we're trying to do, Bootstrap servers is a list, just, the array of things. So what we're trying to do inside application config, we need to have a method that returns not the string. For example, there is a method get string, right? Get application config. How we can get?
I think it's the what's the format of this part? Like we have a list of URLs there, list of strings.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you check documentation and see what? So, for example, this is where you're doing this like a get property. Okay, property. And we get, instead of property, we will get, yes. Yeah, I think I know. We can do property. And we can just get list. Yep. Okay. That's what we need. And in this case, why we're doing on wrap? Because in Hakon,
in that specific case, it was
Hakon,
right?
Hakon specific thing. Yes. We should be fine here. What it says? Why it's yellow? Okay. Specify tab explicitly. Okay. So it will not. Okay. Let's see what else it will break. It will break consumer for sure. No, consumer, because we're not using consumer for now. Okay, so let's do producer thing first. We'll just do build
Build producer.
Yeah. Build producer that, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so this was application, correct. So, oh, I'm sorry what I'm doing. Build producer application config. Oh, come on, stop it. Application config. So, and build producer should get a type. It's key value. Okay. So in this case, it's gonna be string, or whatever we have in config, because I wanna just keep the things simple. Producer long and JSON schema. Let's see how we can do build the producer long and the rating. So we can put any type here. It's just any producer. Okay. We will break some tests right now. So it's gonna string should be fine, and we're gonna do war a producer. So that's how it should work. We don't need this for now. So let's fix this guy. What is the how we can do this application config? Application config, and we need to provide a file. How we can do this? We can do this.
Path. Just the name for the file.
Oh, Kafka conf. Okay, perfect. It's even simpler. Kafka conf. Kafka conf. So we're going with the application config. Oh, we can even test it this. Huh? Yeah, we can even
this config anymore.
This one is not. This one is not. I'm wondering if it might not compile in many cases. Mismatch. Okay, so because it is in a different. Okay, same thing here. Right? So, why it is still not compiling?
It still doesn't compile, I think.
Create Kafka consumer. So our Kafka consumer, we didn't do anything with Kafka consumer. So why it isn't complaining? Because it is using this method here as well. Okay, so I return these guys. We'll do gradually, right?
Yep.
Okay, so console producer. Invalid value key serializer. Okay, so it is not. It didn't consume this parameter fully. Let's see. Let's put a breakpoint here, and I'll run this because I want to see what's inside this. Because probably this mapping is not working as we expected. Okay, so let's take a look. So Bootstrap servers, all good. Successfully read this file. Now we need to do this producer Build producer function. Okay. Common config. Schema. Key schema. Schema register. Okay, that's correct. Now producer config. Key. Double. Okay, value. Key serializer. But it's supposed to be like a key dot serializer, no?
Why?
Because this is how Kafka expects this. So right now, we need to turn this into kind of like in a property format. And separator for this, not the dot. See, it read this correctly. So key serializer is correct thing, but it should the producer properties inside the producer properties. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. See, it should be key dot serializer, not the key dot key. Mapping is not right. We didn't do correct mapping. Okay, perfect. So we're going into where's this Kafka? Where's our mapping? Our mapping. Extension. Yeah, this guy. So we need to build something similar. You know, we need to actually get entry set from here. So we need to get this, turn it into map somehow. So not the map of the things, but kind of like a deep, because this is, how can I explain? In this config, see, this is, you can go very deep in this hierarchical config. And apparently each individual level would be considered as a, at least in application config, it will be considered as a key. But what we want, like if we go in producer key dot serializer, it not needs to be treated as a producer key. You see what I'm saying? So this is how it's treated right now.
Nesting or what?
Yeah, exactly. But in this particular case, I don't need nesting. So this is what we did with this extension functions. We actually extracted this with the unwrapped format, because unwrapped format kind of like took off this the values as a plain Java boxed value, matching value type of config value. And config value would be, you know, key dot the key dot.
But that's our format, so you can just adjust the configuration file.
I don't wanna. So the reason why I want it in this format, because this is how I can copy any the Java, any Kafka Java config.
Oh.
See, so I want to go and copy any Kafka existing configuration and paste it here. So it would be easier for people to do this. I understand that people might have a opinion about it needs to be key, you know, like this.
The block?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But this is how I want to turn this into properties. So let's see if I can. Oh, so that's the problem. See, so this config map. Let's put the breakpoint here. How I can put the breakpoint here? Will it work?
Yes.
Because it's a like one-liner. See,
it still will work.
Okay, so let's play around with this. So what we want in this particular case, where's my evaluate? Where's my evaluate expression? Yeah. So what we want in this particular case, is it already instantiated, right? So if I do the config,
yep. Config path, it's fine. It's not gonna throw the exceptions. Just run it.
Let's see. Maybe I need this, and after that we can do similar thing to kind of like associate by. Can we do config map?
No.
Map is not what we to map. Okay, so what it will give us to map? It's too big, so we need to do config Ktor. Perfect. Okay. To map, it gives us, and if I will just do producer, that's what I. Okay, so I want.
You want it to be k.serializer instead of
Yes. Yes.
key. Then probably it's not gonna be map. It's gonna be list. Config list. No. Or it should be property.
Okay, so let's see. Maybe. Okay, config.
It should be proper. It should be property, I think.
So producer has type object rather list. Okay, so it parses it. Okay. Config. How I can get all keys?
Get config again.
Oh. Okay. So this is what I need. Now for each key, we need to do config path and extract the thing. See what I'm saying?
Not really.
So in this case, for each key, now I need to take the because if I will just do something like this. Okay. Config. Let's do the block. Why it is doing this?
Just equals mark. You don't need the equals mark if you're doing the block.
So first of all, you get the keys. Let's write the. How we can do this? Can I do this? Create new test. The config map test, and this is what I want to test. Okay. So we don't need to restart the application each and every time. So what I want to do? Why are you the way you are? Which version of GUnit are we using, by the way? Like, why it is using GUnit? Is it still GUnit 4? Holy moly, we have a lot of work to do. Anyway, so for now, getting keys. After that, for each key, in up, we need to take the config dot config say and this is where you can serializer get value or get string how I can get the
property.
Yes,
You can get only But that is property.
Yes, that's correct. So this is initial config that we're getting. So now we need to do property key get string. This is what we need to do.
For all the keys,
Yeah.
you can do for each.
And after that, we need to do map for each. This is where you can take off with lambdas and stuff. So we need to create a map. How we can create new map in Kotlin?
Mutable map of.
Huh?
But why do you need the map?
Yeah, because Kafka API expects to have either map or properties. So we're relying on properties object. So in this case, we need to transform application config stuff that is in the format that they understand with this kind of like the nested form. We need to transform this in the format. So I think this is what we need to do.
That's what you did with this associate by.
Yeah. We need to do the same, but because we changed the type and it doesn't give us entry set. You see what I'm saying? So we have a key for each key. It gives us perfect. It gives us perfect representation. And config dot property key get string or get object rather, because we need to return this because it's going to be either string or it can be number or something like that.
Maybe like this. I'm not sure. Like it. No?
Config property it. Can you make it as kind of like a string or something like that?
So we have the keys, right?
Yeah.
So this is the list of strings, basically.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Now
So
in
this.
Now for each key, what do you want to do? You want to
each
associate
key,
it with
config dot property get object.
Each key config dot.
Can I do object? Like, because can I get the raw? Oh fuck. I think I again the beach ball. Can you see?
Yeah, nothing is nothing. No, I don't see it.
Yeah, but it is beach balling. So let me kill IntelliJ and restart.
It's bitching.
Okay. But this is good, actually. You know, we make the our custom configuration work with the Ktor configuration, less, the manual stuff. The only reason why I want to Kafka in format like this, so I can reuse any Kafka application that use properties and paste these properties as is inside this. If I need to migrate or someone needs to migrate their old applications, because I don't want people to have the proprietary
format.
Yeah.
I probably need a new link to connect to your session.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I send you something else. And now my Telegram is also bitching. What is wrong with this computer today? Did you get the link?
No.
No link. Okay.
No link. No link. You got something else. Okay, now there's a link. Let me connect. It's connecting. You can let me in. Let me in. Let me in. Did you let me in?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything is lost or what?
No.
Okay, let's. No, it lost the code I have written.
I see you here, so you can do the thing.
It does not complete, as you see. It's indexing. It's indexing your JDK again.
Yeah. I see it.
Anyways, it will be something like this. It will be the same as the above. Why? Your IntelliJ is acting weird.
Yeah,
So
because.
And then it's gonna be config property it get string or get object.
Yeah, here's the problem. So what this get property return? It returns something like, let's see, indexing.
It returns application config value, which has two functions: get string and get list.
But if I need to have a numbers, for example, sometimes in consumer I need to put in consumer I need to put sometimes numbers as well. Why it's not giving me kind of like a Java object? Like, for example, that's why the Hakon config gives us unwrapped, that actually gives us like access to underlying Java object. And application config is not giving us ability to get a application config value. See, that's the problem. It not gives us ability to get object like a.
I'm checking.
And it's always kind of treated this as a string. Which is a very bold assumption, in my opinion. So does this application config has something like a port? For example, let's see how they doing with port. I would love to see, because it's a number, and they need to provide this number. And when they configure engine.
Wait, but to actually get a number, you have to call the appropriate method in the config anyway. So
like,
if you know which property you are parsing, you have to call the appropriate method. See? Like get long. But to be able to call get long, you have to make sure that the string thingy or string property that you're asking for from the configuration file is actually a long or end or whatever it is, whatever type.
Can you show me this one more time? Like, can you remove this config Java? Can you close this window? Can you close this window and show me which config this? This is a Hakon config class. No.
Yes.
Scroll up.
Yes.
Yeah, but how I can get underline Hakon config in our application?
I mean, my point is that you don't need to.
Okay, so let's
How do you
wing it.
know?
Let's wing it for
How
now.
do you
Like
know that the specific property is integer or a string?
I know this. I don't. So I
By
need to have a
name?
raw object because the producer. So if Kafka producer. So see, when we're building this, it has this kind of like a put all thing that will figure out. That's what I need. It's kind of like a raw in not strongly typed because it's the old API. And inside when the producer will be instantiated. So if I go into where's the Kafka producer? If I go into Kafka producer,
So
see properties. The Java properties object is a object. So it's not.
like essentially what you're saying, you need get object.
Yes.
This is what you want to get.
Yes.
So if we go to the config object, it's the config value. So you don't know which type it is.
I don't.
How do you know how to convert? Like to which type?
This is not my responsibility.
How do you know it
this
should be integer?
Yeah. So this is responsibility of of Kafka producer. For example, here I'm looking into Kafka producer, and it has this the constructor. So say properties. If I'm going to this constructor, we see it has its own method to turn these things. Now, producer config, append serialized config, blah blah blah. Where's this new? This is Does it have producer config? So it creates the producer config get string. Let's see, get integer. So it has already method. Every Java framework writes, or like every Java system writes their own config parser thing, and it already has. It knows, for example, if I need to configure. For example, metrics config. I need to get long from this producer config. But in order to get this, I just need to get the raw properties, and it would be enough for Kafka consumer to eat this. So I'm just trying to play by the rules of the the internal system, the internal implementation.
Okay, what will happen if we just put a string in there?
I don't think.
Will it parse it, or will it not?
Yeah, we can try. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, so I will go to Kafka producer.
At the very least, we can cast the string to an object.
That feels like something dirty, It really feels like a dirty. Let's take a look. I want to find any kind of like maybe Kafka thing is smart enough to parse it like internally, actually don't know. Maybe would be the thing. So for example, where is it? When we do samples, yeah. So get integer. So what get does? So I don't know. Ignore short, get long, get double, get list.
It does the cast right there.
Yeah.
When it returns the value from the
method. Yeah. So
it's already doing
probably
upcasting,
okay.
so
probably okay.
So
so maybe
just work.
Yeah. Let's try this one then. So this is what you did, right? And it needs to config map. What? Why it is?
Oh, you should return it or put equals in there, like whatever.
It's still one liner, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's test it. And we were using the thing that we learned already, right? This one.
Mm-hmm.
Test application. Nah, we don't need this. It's just like we want to test this. So config map. We can create this.
Call.
Yeah, we can create this.
Rename the test. Rename the test function.
Why?
Because it's the recursion
yeah.
what you're doing right now.
Blah. I will rename it. And what it has? What kind of signature? What signature we have? Application config is string, and string will be path. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna do application config. We can create this as from scratch, right? No, mapped application config.
Map application.
Map application config var, and we'll just do
config.
Yeah, and we just do config put Ktor Kafka producer key serializer, and the value is gonna be just to be kind of like config path. We're gonna do Ktor dosh Kafka or assert that map get key serializer can do this. Is or equals equal to something like this, right? Okay. Looks good. Are you still there? Like, am I talking to myself?
Yep, I am.
Okay, so let's see if this will work. Yeah, and I need to probably refactor this and to use GUnit 5. Okay, producer key serial property, producer key serializer is not found. Okay, so why is that? because probably it looks different. So we need to put like something like this. I think, if I understand the way how this thing works. No. Let's think about this. Yeah, I think it should work something. It's a little bit different. So let's see what put can receive. String value. Combine. Let's see. Let's see if no, come on. Why it takes so long? Now, so fixtures a string. Okay, so now we have this application config. Evaluate the expression. Come on, it's just too slow. We take a config. We just do get or like a property. Just do okay. Property key serial is not found. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna do keys. Okay, so it is not how we can. Yeah, okay. So in this case, just like screw this. We just do resources test. We'll just do. We will do this in the in the real world. How we would do in the real world. We'll go through the parsing and all this kind of stuff. Resources, because I don't want to mess with the internal representation. Just do Kafka config map those config. You follow what I'm trying to do?
Yep.
So in this case, I will follow the same pattern that we do with this stuff. And in this particular case, this should work. So in this case, I just do application config that is where's my test? Wrong. This one. Okay. So now inside here, I don't need to. I can get the config map config path Ktor Kafka. So now this should work. Okay, let's see. Bootstrap servers is not found. Why it is looking for bootstrap servers? Because it probably starts why it is using bootstrap servers. Because we're not using this anywhere. Why it is? Are we using this somewhere?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So I know what's the problem. Yes, I know what's the problem. Problem is probably this lambda it line breakpoint. Yes. So config. So we'll just do config is initialized. Okay, we'll just do evaluate expression. So config property it. So what was going to be it in this case?
Well, if you do keys, you will see the list of
Yes, correct.
things
Yeah,
and
okay.
Bootstrap
And
servers, but probably
yeah.
one of
Okay,
them.
so in this case, we did this wrong. Or what's the
Maybe you don't need to do the config path.
let's see, config, and our path would be what
Ktor
Ktor
Kafka.
Kafka, and after that do keys. Yeah, bootstrap servers. There's a thing. But we're trying to run config. See, so so in this case, we'll just do config dot config. We need to change the API. API is terrible. Path. So this is how we're gonna do this. See? Agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh. Debug stop. And this is where we're going with the test. Okay.
No.
Bootstrap servers type list rather than string, which is absolutely right. This is what I was talking to you. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
so
We
it will
need
work.
an object, right?
Huh? Yeah. So in this case,
We need.
Yeah. So just like let's fix one problem at a time and see if our thing will work. Shit. Wrong file. Test Kafka config map. Yes. Why it is?
Wow, but it means we cannot use application config still.
No. We can. It's a different different problem. Okay. So but it was null. Okay. Okay. Let's see what is the problem. This looks weird. Are you sure you need to do this way? Not like okay, no, it's the way how.
I basically did exactly how we did it before.
Okay, let's see. Where's my test? Config map test. So I want to see this map rather here. Let's see what kind of stuff we have now. So it's okay. We'll pass it. How we can continue? Resume program. Okay. Now, let's see. Producer value serializer. Okay, so it is wrong because extra parameters was added. Ktor Kafka producer. You know what? My computer is kind of like a. It's because like we do live stream, we do would you share with me or like code with me? I think this should work now. Producer. Producer.
Give me an R, give me an E.
Yeah. Produce. Yeah, correct.
No.
No, it's expected error. Yeah. So works. Okay. Now it works. Now we fix that method, but we didn't solve the basically we didn't solve this we didn't solve the problem with the with list, because we're trying to get the string and now we have a list. But what we're trying to do in the very here in the test, where our test, the application test, right? So what we're trying to do is to create a producer. It will not work because we don't have a Bootstrap server. So I think this is the point where we need to, have a break. Not only because we are a little bit tired, but also I have another meeting coming in a few minutes. So what I think we will close. I will create a branch. And for now, we can wing it with this configuration. I mean that there's only one list so far right now. For the next step, we need to figure out with this with Kafka streams. Maybe it will just work. I don't know. But with list, we need to figure out like if property blah, we need to take this as a key. We need to put this. Where's this extension? Say inside this extension.
We basically need to implement our own unwrap function.
No, not necessarily. If we want to have this generic, if the Bootstrap server is key, use list. So in this case, associate by needs to be kind of like a little bit more complex.
I think it needs to be more generic. We probably have more cases like this.
Yeah. So
it shouldn't depend on the property name.
It should not. So ideally, we need to have. I think that's one of the problems that we faced in the previous iteration, is that you can ask around. Maybe one of the developers will help you to how you can get this. And you have example, right? You have example of how we're doing this. All right, so folks, thank you so much for being with us. Next week, same time, around this, maybe Thursday, Tuesday, we'll figure out what we're gonna be doing. But it was good session. We kind of like in the middle of refactoring, and Testcontainers will work like immediately when we fix this migration to standard configuration that we were planning to do because we wanted to get rid of the some of the it's always easy to use this integration if the people know how to use application configuration.
If it doesn't work smoothly, then we can pass it back to the team to improve. Yeah. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah. All right. So with this, as always, Anton and I will be here next week. We will announce when we're going to be next stream. So with this, cheers, folks, and we'll see you next week. We're going to continue hacking around with the with the things that we not fully understand. But we understand a few things, so it's still going to be entertaining and fun. Cheers.